Yo, what is going on, man? AMC up 10%. A lot of volume is coming in right now. Gee, man. Wow. Insane. Bro, what is going on, man? We have not seen AMC do this in a while, dude. Reminiscing right now. Holy shit, dude. Wow. Wow. Look at this candle, man. Hourly candle up 10%. Guys, yeah, we're gonna talk about this, man, because this is crazy. Okay. Okay, so damn. Okay, let's go on the micro chart here, see what's going on. Yeah, just going to be looking at the chart here. We have about 8 minutes left until the market is done for the day. After hours can get a little insane here for AMC. We do have some court stuff happening in the next few days. So this could potentially be the start of hopefully a continuation. I'm going to talk about the cycle, the correlation with Ethereum Classic, which had a fake out initially, and now it seems like that is just out of question. Like it doesn't want to do that. So this is really, really good stuff, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. 10.85%, 11% and going. It's not stopping. Okay, awesome stuff. Okay, so guys, this is the deal. This is the deal. This is good. Okay, you know why this is good? AMC is bouncing off a triple bottom setup. Now, the hidden this is the juice here, okay? Ethereum Classic, for those that don't know, already is doing this. Okay, this is the thing about the cycle. Now, is this part of a point of interest? It's actually outside, but okay, having that window of plus or minus 2 days, it's still outside about 2 days from that window. So it's very close to it. Now, the reason why we are and let's pull up Ethereum Classic here so I can show you guys. Posted this on Twitter the other day. Okay. Man. Okay, you guys see this right here? This price action, it went up 50%. Okay, so Ethereum Classic from the bottom went up 50%. It's currently at a mid-range level here between the high and the lows. So we're still, pretty bullish on on Ethereum Classic. Think that it will continue to go up following potentially what could be this fake out here that the crypto market's experiencing. And man, wow. So the markets are also getting ready to come down, which makes sense why I think AMC is climbing up right now. Yeah, this is really good news though, because this is going to make it so much easier to track the two moving forward. And then also considering the court stuff that's happening the next few days, one can only speculate now why there's this much volume coming in on the last hour of trading. This reminds me a lot of freaking January, dude. That like this sort of last minute volume coming in here. Okay, 10% is a lot. 10% is a lot, dude. Okay. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. We'll keep the price on track. We're up 10%. AMC's looking good. We still have about 3 minutes left now. So let's hope the market here, AMC starts. We close green, right? I mean, we're probably going to close green. It'd be very unlikely that we don't. Unless these guys are like faking this out and it comes. Honestly, like this is probably gonna close around maybe that 9%, I would say, and then after hours is gonna be interesting. So we'll look at the after hours session, but I do want to talk about this correlation, guys, because this could be the start of a pretty nice move here on AMC. So we'll focus on the two. If you guys haven't liked the video, make sure you like it and get some peeps up in here. Subscribe if you haven't, because, man, we are going to have to rally in the next few days. I don't think this is over, guys. I don't think this is over yet. It's gonna take some time. This is potentially a macro reversal on AMC as well. What I mean by that is this is like if this continues to go up, like bye to the fours, man. Like we're going up quickly to new levels. All right, here we go. Okay, so here is a correlation so far from what we know. We're tracking, and this is so funny, dude. We were talking about this on the Discord here, and we were looking at this this little section here. Both could have been that if we are at a fake out, because you can see this is a triple bottom that has a fake out. So it comes down and then comes back up. But AMC now is following the same sequence. So we have here, okay, we have about 8 days where Ethereum Classic comes down and then it starts to come back up. And then here we have about 7 days, right? Yeah, 7 days where it comes back down and then just blows through here, man, keeps going. So I think based on this, if we can experience that that volume coming in here, probably going into tomorrow, there could be like a small fake out going into the morning, but we're going to see here after hours if the price action continues or not. If it continues, I mean, this thing can just, like I said, guys, look at both of these levels. We'll look at the ratio levels here. But Ethereum Classic has gone up from the bottom wick about 50%. So if you look at these two, a 50% rally on AMC. Okay, we're looking at that $6 level. $6 level in the short term if all tracks and continues to track. Now, guys, we've done this before with 2 other cycles here. All right, that's the bell. We've done it with, for those that are not aware of the cycle and what we've tracked in the past before, Ethereum Classic has been a major key element here in the tracking whether things are bullish or not. Both of these cycles here, we had Ethereum Classic go up first and then AMC follow shortly after. And the crazy part here is not just the direction it takes, but the levels. So the ratio levels it went up are basically the same. I mean, this was a 100% rally. This one was about the same. Both were about 100%. So this is why I'm hoping that Ethereum Classic continues this rally here, because if it does, man, and if it keeps going, which right now the target is 24, dude, if it keeps going, then AMC can definitely keep going as well and rally way above, which could be essentially a 100% move here. Now, this is probably going to take a little bit of time. I don't think it's going to go up right away and into this level, but I'll talk about what I think we can expect here. Okay. real quick. Let's see what AMC's doing after hours. Man, volume after hours is looking good. So far, we're on minute 2, man, but just in the last hour, see how much volume AMC had in the last hour. 12 million. 12 million in volume in the last hour. And it's not stopping. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, 12, man. That's crazy. All right, 12 freaking million. 12 million in volume, all right? In 1 hour. In 1 hour. And man, we're looking good after hours, guys. Let me pull up, see if I can pull it up here. Get the price up for you guys. Okay, I can't get this thing up. What's going on? Let's pull up the price action. All right, guys. I'm pulling it up here. And that way you guys can see what's going on after hours. I don't have to keep updating you guys on the price right now. It's probably going to keep going up. All right, here we go. Okay, here's the price after hours. We're up 0.55% after hours. We'll leave that up here for you guys to see. And then now I can talk about the chart, right? Awesome, awesome. Okay. All right. So if you just came in, AMC is up 7.4% for the day. It hit a high of 11%, and now it's up almost 1% after hours. So hopefully it keeps going. We have a triple bottom setup on AMC's chart right now, and it's weird, man. I was gonna post a video about this, but figured going live would be a little bit better. Now, also, guys, AMC plus Ape chart is crucial to look at here. All right, I think this is the hidden gem. AMC, guys, this is an indicator that we've been using for a little bit. And this is what you're not going to see on AMC's chart. Okay, this is an ascending triple. You can call it a triple bottom setup on AMC's chart, but this is an ascending wedge setup on both AMC plus APE combined, and now we're getting that bounce. So this was like, it was pretty hidden in the chart, but this is AMC's true price. So it's very relevant to look at this when doing analysis on AMC. Now that we're bouncing here, we know that there could be a tracking with Ethereum Classic, which just went up a couple days ago, about 12 days ago in crypto days. We are tracking about 7 days apart right now if we look at the same pattern. Okay, so now that is kind of confirmed here, just today before the volume came in, I was leaning more towards what could have been potentially a fake out on AMC, but now we're completely seeing the opposite happen here, which is good. We're a little bit outside of the cycle, so what this is going to mean for AMC in the short term is any volume that we have on AMC. I'll show you guys the POIs here. So here are the points of interest. Take this chart away for a sec. Nice. Looking lovely. Okay. So any chart is it? POIs, here we go. This is the volatility zones, the little windows, and what we had set, and this is why it's going to be just a little tricky to understand the price action or where it's going to go next if it holds, right? Because we have that plus or minus window inside and outside of the cycle. We track this every time in case things roll over, dates change, holidays, and then over the calendar years, you are going to have a small shift in the cycle. So, us being outside of the cycle doesn't mean we can't, start climbing up quickly or anything, but we have seen just medium volatility outside of the chart. Like, that doesn't change. So if AMC goes up 50% here, we would see that $6 range in the next few days, considering Ethereum Classic's chart, which I've already talked about. If Ethereum Classic keeps going up and goes up to that $24 level, that's going to be a 100% move as well on AMC. So that would mean that we would be outside of the POI coming up here in the cycle. So still very relevant to track the correlation between the two. I know there's a lot of people that don't believe that's a thing, but we have seen that there's a clear correlation between both charts. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video, because I did not cover it completely on the last video. I didn't go like super in depth on it because I redirected you guys to watch the Crypto Runs AMC Follows video, and that's what we have here. But I do believe that because we're going up right now, this is like, dude, this is great. This is great for tracking, man. Ethereum Classic. All right. So here is Ethereum Classic's chart. I'm going to talk about the tracking between the two, when it all started, and then why things are happening the way they are right now, and how we can use this as a tool moving forward with AMC, right? Because in the markets, we believe using cycle analysis that leverage is a tool that hedge funds use to cover their positions, and they will use these like sort of pairs also in the crypto market, in my opinion, to trade them against each other and it's pretty clear that this is happening. It's pretty freaking clear. Okay, let's pull up a bars pattern here on AMC. Let's bring it up down here. And let's talk about this cycle and the separation between the two charts. And you know what? We need to get the POIs here. So we'll have this chart here, and then I'm going to pull up Ethereum Classic. All the way back. Let's do October 22nd. Now, the chart is going to look slightly different here because crypto trades 24/7. So there is going to be a slight difference in the way the charts look. But what I want to focus on is the structure of the chart and why they used Ethereum Classic in the past. We're going to highlight this very green. And then AMC, we're going to highlight it red because it's AMC. We'll leave AMC right here. And now we can look at both charts. Okay, perfect. All right, the same time and everything, we know that back here in the tracking, they were in the cycle, they were tracking about a month apart from each other. So I believe it started off around 24 days. And you can clearly see this. Okay, one of two ways. We're going to clone this real quick so I can shift it around and not mess around with the current time. But you can clearly see this if you shift the chart to the right. What happens here? So on AMC's chart, we have what happens right after January. So really everything started to happen around here. Over leveraged positions, what happens? Crypto starts running and then peaks around April, right? So a lot of these other stocks, though, remember, I just took this and I shifted it over about a month. So here we have June, and everything peaked, I believe, around end of April or mid-April, which is when Ethereum Classic peaked. But you can see the structure is the same, and more importantly, the points of interest and the patterns are the same. So we have this right here, this little hump. We have a flag pennant set up on AMC. The same thing happens with Ethereum Classic following the January pump and dump. Okay, right? So everything trades sideways. Then we have the projector, okay, which is just a cross at a descending level of resistance, and then you bounce back and touch the what would be considered support now before you climb back up. So you find these before any like major rally really on any stock. They're very common. Okay, we call them projector patterns. And then you have the run up. So all of this happened with Ethereum Classic's chart first. As you can see right here, it peaked May 3rd on this chart. And then this is where we started to track the days in which they were tracking, how it started to get very small. It was narrowing down as time went on. So let's do that here real quick. So from February 9th to March 9th was the first one. So that was about 26 days. I'm going to say 20. Well, in this, we're going to say about 29 days here. So about a month. And the next tracking we can do is the peak to the peak, which is about 24 days. So we have 29, 24. This is going to make sense, guys, in a little bit. But and we're still tracking AMC right now after hours. I have it on the screen for you guys, but I want to show you why this is relevant to track right now. It's going to make sense here in a second. I'm going to try and, be pretty clear with this. 29, 24. It starts to get smaller, okay? So now we're tracking right here, following the bottom. That's where we track it next, where it starts to bounce back up. Okay, we're still tracking about 25 days behind. Okay, and then you get to this point right here where things start to narrow down very quickly. So following the second peak here, which you can clearly see on both, we have about 13 days behind. And then the drop, the same thing. And then right about here is where it gets very narrow. So both of these start tracking about 8 days behind before the markets start dumping. And this is where the entire market started to dump, guys. Like, everything started to dump here. So we were tracking about 8 days behind until the markets were 1-to-1. Like, everything was tracking very much the same way. We got down to 0 basically at this point. Okay, markets are tracking the same way. Then we start to separate again, very slowly, but we start to separate again. Here we were tracking 3 days behind. Okay, same thing in August, 3 days behind. Okay, then again, narrow, narrow, narrow. Down here, now we're tracking 6 days behind. Right, 6 days behind right here. 6 days behind right here. So what is happening, right? We have this, it's like the cycle is stretching. We have, we start off long, about a month, and it gets down to 0. And now we're separating again. So the analogy I had made is like, and damn, we're up 2.1% after hours. Okay, awesome. I had made is comparing like planets, right? When they orbit the sun, at some point they clash against each other. They all line up, and then they start to slowly separate from each other again. So you just have this like massive, never-ending cycle. Just like planets work, guys, I believe this is how the market works as well. So now that we're getting this upside here on AMC, I think this has everything to do with the cycle in which they both trade against each other, right? We have Ethereum Classic going up, and then shortly after, we have AMC going up. What are we tracking now? No, it's not 666. It's actually 6610. Okay? 6610 is the number right now. So why this is freaking important, man, is because I think we're on the second major wave here on AMC. Now that things are turning around, if the markets continue here, and this is not a fake out, this is a third wave, and that means that just like things narrow down to 0, they're turning around. They're reversing back up. Okay? Cycle started right here, and it started at 30 days. It went down to 0. And now we are coming back up again. So it's possible that in the next few months, AMC is going to probably have a phase or two here in the cycle where it comes up to a very quick level at maybe around $10. And then from there, based on what we're tracking, it seems like it can get up to that $30 range. No, this has nothing to do with the split. If the split goes through, has absolutely nothing to do with it, right? If it splits at 30 and it goes to 300, okay, it still went to $30, right? The conversion is not relevant. The price point here is relevant, and the percentage return is relevant as well. We do look at the option chain for this for hedging purposes. So I'm going to talk about why this all makes sense and how you can track these levels based on all these channels that we've been tracking, right? The parallel channel, the volatility zone, all that good stuff, and track where we are in the cycle right now. Yo, yo, yo. Awesome, guys. Just reading the chat right now. How we doing? How we doing? Doing great, man. AMC up a little bit over 1.25% right now. Hopefully we get a nice little rally here after hours. Okay. So with all that being said, now that you know a little bit about the tracking between Ethereum Classic and AMC, let's go over these levels and what we can see happening here next. Okay, so what and just before I cut off the Ethereum Classic thing, obviously it's on watch. You got to watch Ethereum Classic now because I mean, like, dude, if it keeps going up, if it rallies in the next few days, that's just going to be another way to track. I'm telling you, man, when this whole thing happened, we had the levels to a T. We tracked the $35 level on AMC, the $30 to $35 level on AMC, and that was a level it got rejected at, right? That was also a descending level of support, so you have to track that anyways. And this is why we track, you know, support resistance levels, because in the end they do matter. Okay. All right. So here's that year-long parallel channel. This is hopefully going to be that start, that reversal signal we need, right? Because if it holds here, then I think AMC is ready to move. Like, this is the bottom, right? It has to hold, though. Okay, and then here is that the projections that we had based on the 3-month chart, 3-month interval, and this is what we had the projections be for the candle, because we have a macro parallel, a macro pennant. Right, this is the setup that I believe we might see on AMC's 3-month chart. Now, this is just based on the, remember, like, patterns turn into, you know, other things very quickly. This could also be a projector pattern. If it's a projector pattern, then it would be considered wave 1. You can look at this wave 1 in the impulse, Elliott impulse wave, right? This is huge. And, you know who used to do this, man? That Trading Sciences dude. He was like, he would cover this stuff. And, like, that dude is, shout out to that guy, man, because he's really good at this stuff. But this would also be considered wave 1 if you want to get into it with, you know, these, like, crazy levels in which this can hit if you look at the long term. I think this would be, you know, something that's possible. But you also have to look at different possibilities, because it's not just one possibility. This could squeeze. Sure, it can trigger something that can keep going. But if we just look at, you know, regular technicals, some of these levels, some of these patterns that can pan out and play out based on the option chain, because the option chain is how we get these as well, and for hedging purposes, then, you know, you're doing it right, man. You got to keep that all in mind. I'm going to talk about the parallel channels here so you guys can see what's cooking for AMC right now. All right. So, a couple of things are going to happen here. All right, let's just assume that the cycle tracking, the 62-day cycle tracking is broken, or the algorithm is just no longer tracking the 62-day cycle. Well, we can still track the like, you can call it the fractal nature of AMC, and you're going to have a different cycle at that point because you're reaching for different levels, different targets. So the lingering effect is very important. We call it the ripple effect, because once the POI hits, then everything that happens outside of that point is no longer tracking what the cycle is telling us. So, for example, you know, coming back to what happened in March and August, we had levels that we tracked, potential levels where the price reversed, came back down, or continued to climb back up. All of them were outside of cycle windows. So this was a window. It's 13 days long, and the ripple effect is anything that happens after that. So you're no longer tracking points of interest. You're just tracking the outcome of that, or the bullish volume coming in right after the cycle. Same thing right here, dude. Okay, because we're no longer tracking a pump and dump or something that can just be considered volatility quickly. You have to, now that the chart is bullish and it's going to keep climbing up, right? You can look at a scenario like January. What happened back here? Okay, so what we know so far is that AMC, and this is like, we talked about the delta hedging here. Every single year, AMC came into this zone, this like parallel channel here. Okay, it went up about $1 every single year. So they were hedging basically for $1, right? Anything that happens in between, it's just premium collecting. They use this capital to suppress the price action after, especially when you're in and out of these zones. Okay, so the fact that we're climbing back up, now you're going to see this on a moving average, or like you can probably see it on the 200-day moving average. It's a very smooth chart, right? You come in, you come out, and now we're finally starting to see that bounce here, okay? The only other time that we've been outside of this zone was down here, and it was for 120 days. So if this is the fractal nature of it that I'm talking about. If you use the same thing, if you use the same approach, you know, what happens back here? Considering the volatility zone, which is up here, the parallel channel, which is the one in the middle, and the support channel at the bottom, coming outside of this zone, and this is where it gets crazy, guys. Look. Right here. If we considered something like this, and yes, it's going to look different in with some of these gaps. It doesn't have to happen this way. Remember, we're tracking right now the $6 level just based on Ethereum Classic, right? This is going to take a few cycles to, I think, fully develop, unless something gets triggered very quickly. So if things start climbing up here in the short term and we go up to $6 and then 8 or 10, I think we would create a projector. So it would stay at that $8 range. I don't think it would go low or anything, like coming down again to the $3 or anything. No. I think that this would be the start of a reversal. And then you have to look at this channel here, because last time we crossed it, we crossed the support, the parallel, and the volatility zone all in one go. Okay, this did not stop. And that's where we're at, man, because if this does not stop here on the point of interest in August, remember that's the next one here, then this would be like, it would be so quick. It would this is the thing about cycles, guys. These guys don't want anybody getting in. All right? They want people that are not in on the play to look at what happened the last 2 years and basically get, bummed out from that. So they're making you second guess yourself over and over and over again. I've seen this happen with a lot of crypto plays. The way they do it is they suppress the price action for years, and then once it's ready to come back up, because most people buy and they don't short stocks, they know that, you're going to be looking at the entire chart. You're going to be like, man, it's pump and dump every single time. Like, what's different from this time, right? So what happened here? What happened in January? What happened in June? None of that, right? It was following bearish pressure, and then once it kicked in, it went fast. This lasted 12 days, right? On every single run-up, it lasted about 12 days. So same thing here, dude. Right? If we start climbing up and we reach that $9, $10 range, it doesn't matter if we trade sideways. Some people are going to say, yo, this is a pump and dump, right? But still considering the cycle here, the fractal nature of this pattern, which is down here outside, all of these are hitting the targets and the levels we're talking about. All of them. I'll show you guys another one here that's pretty cool. We have XRP. This one. It's another pattern that we were tracking for a little bit. And again, these are not all going to be the same, but they're going to show you similar levels. Now, XRP is not a stock that has the same volatility as AMC, right? A crypto that has the same volatility. If you want to compare volatility between cryptos, you have to take ones that have, smaller cap. So XRP is one of the largest ones. So you can't just compare you can compare some of the levels, but when it comes to volatility, you're gonna have it a lot greater on meme stocks and meme cryptos. So Doge, okay, Ethereum Classic, you can put it in the same realm. There's a lot of them that are gonna have, that wick that goes up, hangs, and then comes back down. But all of these we're pointing at the same run up time, the same short time. Everything here is lining up, right? We have January, June, we have March, trade sideways here, and then we have one coming up here, which was in June, right? So the one in June, it's still pretty much not that it can't be late. But if it is going to be a point of interest, guys, then it has to run up 100%, right? For it to be considered a point of interest, it has to run up 100%. That's what we've seen before. And right now we're at about 10%, right? So things would have to run very quickly. The catalyst tomorrow for the court would have to be a bullish one. So it's pretty interesting, man, that the price is where it's at right now. Considering we don't really have no clarification on anything yet. So I think it's just the shorts maybe getting ready or something for a continuation and trying to get that IV pumping here in the markets before that happens. See. 1, 2, 3. It's crazy too, man. I don't know if it was for the VIX or what, but a lot of these patterns, like that ARPA pattern that we found, weirdly enough, you will see on anything that involves like futures or options, that specific chart, I know it sounds weird, but those are almost more accurate than the chart itself. This is why I love to use other tools like the ROC indicator to actually track the percentage change on AMC's chart. It can sometimes give you those reverse signals a little bit better than the chart itself. It's like those, hidden key levels. But yeah, this one is relevant, very relevant. And again, guys, I'm going to come back to this POI thing here that I talked about on the last video. But considering that we are climbing up now, and this is what looks to be a triple bottom setup, if it does climb up here, you can even see it on the parallel channel. We have 2 volatility zones here in 1 year. And what do we have back here? We have 2 volatility zones in 1 year. Right now, we don't have one here, okay? We don't have one. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to flip this for a second. Okay, and I'm going to do this as well. And I know it's not going to make sense right now, but I want to show you guys something. So based on this correlation tracking, and it's kind of scary, what like this cycle here is just flipped. If we had two cycles in the past with two volatility zones happen, basically in a not in a row, but it was one on, one off. Right here, 120 days, and right here, 120 days. If we have the same thing happen here, okay, it would be the cycle coming into. So we have one in October, and then we also have one in January. So both of those are way out here. The one in August is coming up. That's the next one. But I'm gonna keep that is crucial to this whole thing. I know that the tracking here and the correlation is only telling us, we have the last 2 years showing two volatility zones, but it's still, dude, this is still very relevant, man. Like right here, both of them, 2 and 2. Let's see, but why are these shifted? Why is this one shifted here? April 7th, June 2nd, January. This one's supposed to be over here. There we go. Okay. And guess what, man? Guess what? All of these happen either at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month. That doesn't change. January 28th, March 29th, June 2nd, August 4th. Isn't that crazy, dude? Both of these back to back, 120 days. The first one happens at the end of the month. The second one happens at the beginning of the month. Same thing over here. End of the month. Beginning of the month. This point of interest here is end of June. End of June going into July, which right now we're at about that 3-day mark outside. So if it is one of the first cycles that is just, it's outside of the zone by a very small margin, yeah, this could totally be the case. Okay, barely down after hours. Nothing crazy. Let's take a look at the chart here after hours. Let's see what AMC's doing. It's holding well, man. This is looking pretty good. Okay, so this could develop into what is a little pennant, a little flag formation. Would have to test it maybe in the next 20 minutes and see where it goes. Even if it did cross below and came down like this, AMC just ran, dude, 11%. I don't see this just pumping and dumping. If it does, for whatever reason, pump and dump, then we have to look at the macro chart, see what happens if there's like a negative catalyst or something. Regardless of that, I think AMC is looking really good right now. Here's the quad witching dates. Now, I want to do something here, man. I want to look at the last. So the last quad witching date we had where we actually ran after was in March. So March 2022, we had that little fake out, come back down, and then shortly after, literally, man, the day after, the 21st is where everything started to run here. And then we had our volatility zone kick in on the 28th. 28th, guys. It's the 28th of June right now, man. 28th. All right, and we're starting to see that kick in. Okay, there's no other ones that I see here. Maybe the one in January a little bit, but no, this one comes down right away and then starts climbing back up around the middle of the month. So no, this one is a lot quicker. It's looking a lot more like March. And hey, projection. Let's see. Oh, dude, I've been playing around with the ghost feed thing here. This thing is cool as hell. You just gotta, like, mess with it a little bit, because... Okay, so let's see what we can expect in the next few days. If AMC keeps going up in the next few days and does the same thing Ethereum Classic did, like I said, we would see that $6 range first, and then it does trade sideways for a little bit. So expect something like this based on that tracking. Now you can see the chart here. Does it look good or not? Okay, the first level, if it hits $6, that looks great to me. I mean, it looks pretty symmetrical to the other side. Symmetry is key. Okay, the chart has to look kind of pretty. So if it goes to $6 and then comes down, that's also resistance. So if it comes down for a little bit for a couple days, watch the Ethereum Classic chart. That's going to be the next test here. If it keeps going up, let's do Ethereum Classic real quick. Anna, thank you. Thank you for the beer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cheers, guys. Okay. Here's Ethereum Classic's chart. Again, I'm going to show you guys what it's done so far. From the bottom, we got a 56% return. And I'm going to take it from the average here. So I'm going to say the wicks are strong. It comes down very quickly, but I'd say right now, if we were being like really conservative, it'd be about a 30% move. But I'd say a pretty good medium would be about 40% in the short term. And right now, based on the tracking, I would say we'd be somewhere right here. Okay, if we're looking at both charts, I'd say we'd be somewhere right there. So if we look at this, let's take the entire pattern here, bottom. Okay, this is the bottom here. So a 40% would be, yep, right around 560. And it would probably be, yeah, no, it would be a lot quicker. It'd be something like this. 60. Now, no, these don't have to track one-to-one. They remember, Ethereum is, whoa, what happened there? Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. It trades 24/7. The chart is going to be a lot more dragged out than a stock chart because we're limited to the stock trading hours, which is going to make everything go a lot faster. That's the beauty of the stock market. But crypto, it's like you got to be patient, man, because things just drag out forever. It's just sideways, sideways, sideways. So based on this, it looks like, and this is the 40. If we go to the 50, I think the 50 would make a lot more sense here. Yeah. If we go to the 50, you can kind of see what happens, right? Going into the 30th, which is Friday. Okay. I mean, dude, like, yeah, that would happen pretty quickly. It's like $6 by Friday. That would be a 50% move. No, that is not a POI, but it is, we've seen it happen before here on the chart. We saw it happen back here. Very quickly, it goes to that about 65% in January. And that's the first test, man. From here, we let it ride. We see what Ethereum Classic does. And now on Ethereum Classic's chart, Okay, I'm targeting right now the $25 range. That's a 100% move. Zoom out on this chart, and you can see right here, this would be it's a macro triple bottom setup going all the way back to July, which is not what AMC did. But in the short term, also from the beginning of the year, we still have about what looks to be a triple bottom setup with a little fake out, and a 100% move would get it up to resistance as well. That's the first push. Okay, climbing back up. When did this happen on Ethereum Classic? Happened back here. Now on this chart, we have a POI that is followed by a ripple effect, a second wave of volatility, which is something that we can still experience on this chart here. Okay, now it might look a little different, it might drag out a little bit longer, but I want to show you guys something, all right, that I talked about on the Discord yesterday. So this indicator right here, okay, it's a ROC indicator, and this is like my favorite indicator to use when spotting. This will show you things you can't see on a chart, okay? And I'll explain this in a second here. Watch this, all right? So what do we have in July, right? In July, we had the POI for Ethereum Classic, comes down, and then right now, on this indicator, okay, we are crossing resistance from the beginning of the year. So we created a resistance level. You can see that it clearly got crossed, and now we're trading right around that zero mark, which is good, because once you cross that zero mark, things tend to rally very quickly, especially after just crossing resistance. So where else can we see this sort of formation here? Because if you're tracking cycles and you're trying to know where you are in the cycle, you're going to go back and see, where can I find this pattern? You're not going to be able to see it on the chart here, even using log, dude. So watch this. We have the same thing happening back here. Okay, this doesn't come all the way down the same way it doesn't back here, right? But you have the same thing. We have a cross at resistance right here at the zero mark in October of 2020. So what I did was you got to take the pattern, right? We're going to come up to, I'm not going to take this whole thing because I don't think it's going to do it like that the same way. But if you take the initial run up here, right there, okay, we have a reversal, a clean reversal, considering the first levels here. And when does this happen, guys? It happens in August, which is the next point of interest on AMC. Now, because things are shifted, I think we're actually right here. I think we're right here in the cycle. And you can see that is why I have that $25 target. Because if we're tracking the same thing back here using the same levels, I mean, that's what we use patterns for. The reference patterns, we're trying to track potential targets, potential levels that can pan out. And, in this case, we have that $25 level. And then it trades sideways for a little bit. You create a little projector. Okay, this is what I want to happen for Ethereum Classic, because if the tracking holds and this goes up in the beginning of August, all right, this, bro, if this goes up in the beginning of August, that is going to be our tracking there. I'm telling you, because we're slowly separating and coming back in, it's probably going to start tracking longer than we're currently tracking, which is about 10 days. So it goes from 6 to 6 to 10. This is probably going to be, you're probably going to see another number here, maybe like 12. Then you're going to see that larger number, maybe 20 or 24, 25. And if you do the math, we're tracking 25 days behind, and the cycle is expecting to go up AMC end of August, then this checks out. So, yeah, man, something else to track. You got to do analysis on other sectors, especially the ones that are known to track and have historical relevance. You can to AMC. This one is it, man. This one is it. So, bro, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Roman, thank you, man. Yeah, I think this is gonna be fun, man. I think that, and checking things off as they happen is key, right? I'm not going to try and forecast AMC's price action without checking things off. The first thing that needs to happen for everything to be tracking is we need to complete the sequence here on the tracking for Ethereum Classic. We need to complete it because this is something we did. Again, guys, this is something that we did in March and August, and it worked out. If this holds here, it's going to be a lot easier to track and understand AMC moving forward. I mean, who needs indicators? Who needs anything else if you know that there is a crypto that you're following again? I mean, we're coming back to it, bro. So it really is it makes things a lot easier. So again, Steve, so potential levels to track for Friday. You want to come back to it, but based on this right now, we're tracking about 10 days behind on Ethereum Classic, the Ethereum Classic chart. About 10 days behind. So let's bring... Do I still have it here? Yep, here we go. We do a little setup here so you guys can kind of see where we are in the cycle. If we line everything up with the chart here, I mean, look at this, bro, 1-to-1. Guys, the current chart doesn't look like this. Where is the current chart? The current chart is shifted to the right. This is currently where Ethereum Classic is on the chart. It looks like this, but if you put it up and you line it up with AMC, look at this, right? We still have, and somebody the other day was like, dude, the charts don't look alike. They don't need to look alike. The only thing that matters on these charts is the volatility window. And I've said this again, the charts are going to look different regardless, but what you're trying to narrow down here and find here are the run-ups and the shorts. That's it. It's the major volume coming in. That is what is crucial here. So looking at it from here, okay, this is going to give you... Okay, let's get the highs and the low here for the chart. And there it is. Again, so high, high. That's pretty good to me. And this is just a moving average, so you do have to always consider the wick. The wick is sometimes going to go, 10%, man, to the upside. Like, the wicks are dangerous. So looking at it from here, from this, you're going to get the same thing. The average is going to be 550. The wick is probably going to go to 6. So based on this tracking, I can't tell you if things are going to run very quickly and happen here on Friday. But what I will say is, having and looking at the current catalyst on the table is a court stuff, right? So that's going to be something to also keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, just another example here of how dates are put in, and sort of we have the dates set on AMC, the cycle date's set on AMC, and then everything else that follows, the catalyst and stuff like that, is just just brought about, man, whenever it's convenient for them. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we have a POI coming up. All right, guys, get ready for that catalyst, all right? And that is the court stuff, probably. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to stream when that goes down, so have it up and running. No, and like, dude, you can call this a coincidence. You can call this a whatever. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but I like, I'm telling you, man, I look at the market a very specific way. I know a lot of you do as well, and I don't think there's a wrong way to look at the markets. I think it's something that you have to treat it on an individual level. And yeah, I mean, this is never going to be like advice you should take or anything. It's not financial advice. It's just a different perspective. And if it's something that helps you, great, man. If it doesn't, great. I mean, it's not for everyone, but it is. I think there's high correlation here, and that's what we use. We use probability in the market. Is you got to use it, man. So the correlation right now between the two is very high. It's strong. You can't just take any other stock in the market and compare it, right? They're not going to look the same. We pull up, I don't know, pull up a random chart, right? SoFi, okay, a random chart, okay? You pull it up, and where is the correlation between the two, right? Even though you still have that the nature of markets following each other is a thing, you still have to look at the levels and the overall structure of the chart. Both Ethereum Classic and AMC are currently creating what could potentially be first waves in the Elliott Impulse Wave macro chart. So both of these look to be wedges right now, narrowing down. They could also be, yeah, no, they're pretty much just wedges, man. But like I said, it's the first stage in crossing back up, crossing resistance. But no other chart, man, like from what I can see, looks to be a 1-to-1 match of AMC. I just don't I don't see one. Even freaking GameStop, dude. You just cannot see them right now correlating with each other the same way that they used to. Another thing to track, man, is GameStop, because they are slowly straying away from each other, almost tracking inverse, actually. Look at this. Look. What do we have, right? We have the double bottom formation here. We have a POI on GameStop. AMC doesn't do pretty much anything down here. And then they start tracking inverse. Goes up. Completely inverse. Yeah, so this one is another chart. This is not a monthly candle chart. This is a cycle, 120-day cycle chart as well, and it kind of just outlines everything in like for each individual cycle as well. But you know what's crazy too? When we were tracking Man, there's so many cycles. When we were tracking the 3-month cycle back in the day, this was like way back here, when the channel started in November 2021, and that's where everything like sort of took a little dip here on the pennant, and we were tracking the 3-month cycle, and I talked about the patterns and how these guys are hedging, and you could clearly see the pattern structure just develop itself inverse, because anything you short and you have to cover in the future is just going to be it's just going to be flipped basically. And that's what we saw with all these patterns. But now you're starting to kind of see that happen with this. And that's the part that has me kind of pumped here, because just taking, this is a whole year on AMC, guys. Like January 25th to January 25th, a whole year. And we would flip these right here. Okay, a whole year would be all the way back to January 29th. Now, the thing about these is they need to be shifted, because whatever whenever you're flipping a chart, the complete opposite effect, especially if you're flipping it horizontally and vertically as well, the placement of where things get shorted and where things get let go when you rally is if you're flipping it in a box here and the short is at the end or at the beginning, it's like you're flipping that around as well. So anything that happens in this window here is actually happening back down here. I know it sounds weird, but that's just the way these work. But I want to show you guys the charts here real quick. Look at this. Or was it right here? I think it was right here. You can see the shift. It's very small, but a lot of, these patterns are looking very similar as well all the way through. It's like I'm just taking the beginning here. Would be where? Back here? Like I said, talk about the shift. Yeah, dude. It's just crazy how this stuff just goes hand in hand with each other. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to come live and talk about this. You're going to see me live in the next few days. For those that came in late, watch the entire video. It goes over the correlation and the tracking and why I think this is happening. I think this is good stuff, man. It's good news. It's looking really good for AMC. Guys, if you want to check out the website, make sure you hit up twecharts.com. It'll give you some nice little updates and stuff on the charts that we track and everything else. Check that out. We also have a Discord in the community, and it goes over other charts that have points of interest in the market, other charts that have potential to go up or down as well using cycle analysis. So if you want, updates on that, you want to chat with the Discord community, you do need to also message me as well. I have the Discord on private, even the free section, because, man, there's a lot of spamming in there, so had to make it private. But get on in there, man. Let me know if you guys wanna join up, and message on Discord if you're interested. Alrighty, guys. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys subscribe. All right, subscribe, hit the like button, and all that good stuff. And, man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Amy. Things are looking good. All righty, guys. Bye-bye.